Hello everyone, welcome back to some more Rimworld Alpha 14. Bunker Hill, we are under attack once again. We've got some raiders showing up over here. One of them has a PDW, one of them has frag grenades, one has a steel ship, and one of them has a personal shield and a plasteel gladius. Now, this personal shield is basically an energy shield that's shielding people from bullets. You can't use a gun and a personal shield. You can only use melee weapons. So that's unfortunate for them. We are quickly going to get our people some weapons. I think we'll get people the assault weapons because they fire a bit faster. And we might want to be able to take one of these people alive. If only to let them go. If we quickly look at our faction relations here. The Camino Braixo don't like us, but they're not hostile to us. These guys, on the other hand, they are very, very pissed off at us. For maybe minor or major reasons. And that is just great. We're gonna get people formed up over here, and we're gonna have to defend ourselves pretty quickly. Poor mood. Defo. Yeah, that's a lot of stuff, unfortunately. Okay, there we go. Manning the defenses. Hopefully we'll be able to take them out. They should walk over the marsh, which gives them no cover anywhere. I might get rid of all these trees at some point to completely negate all the cover there is. Oh yeah, Jess is walking over the marsh. There we go. Got a lot of fire coming in his direction already. That's great. And he's dead. That makes one less problem to worry about. And I'm not sure where Misaki's gonna get away, I can tell you that already. But Addy over here. Nope, you're dead. 3 out of 4, that's not bad. We'll unrecruit Defo and all of them. We'll send Kai over to see if we can take a look at maybe getting Mikasi. Although at the rate they're walking, I don't think Kai is gonna be able to catch up. Which is unfortunate. Oh, you do have a peg leg. That'll make things a bit easier, I suppose. But we do have to be mindful that Kai is also not in the best of mood right now. He's feeling a little better. We did watch 2 prisoners die, unfortunately. That doesn't help their mood. Okay, I think we're gonna have to... Misaki, are you gonna walk across the marsh? Yes, you are. Thank you very much. Allow us to catch up. We'll have to start taking some shots now. And... we did manage to injure. And kill! Wow! Yeah, they all died. That's cool. Do you have any gear? No. Unfortunately, we can't release any prisoners either. We're gonna set these ship chunks over here to be destroyed, and while we're hauling some stuff from over here, like, for example, hauling that plasteel gladius might be useful. It's a good melee weapon with 14 damage. Pretty fast cooldown, so it's good to use. We'll also start mining some more compacted steel down here. And maybe over here as well. We might be able to dig some living quarters out here. After all, we are getting a bit close to the map border here. And the deeper you go, the more chance of fun. Let's put it like that, more chance of fun. Now in all seriousness, past this line we can't build. So we're going to be very limited in what we can place over here. I think we might place, like, the general stuff here. Or we could put some sleeping quarters here, like... this is the dining room, of course. It's got chairs, poor, normal, poor. It's a normal table. It does have a bit of beauty, which offsets the ugliness of everything inside here. But it is far from great. Let's quickly... we can't rebuild these elsewhere, unfortunately. We have to tear them down at some point. So we're gonna get a wooden butcher table in here. Then I would like an electric stove over here. We've got our fuel generator working to cool everything in here, etc. Keep ourselves warm. So the temperature in there is going to be quite nice. My plan is to possibly roof this area at some point. Except for the areas where we're growing crops. Now, they're not growing at ideal rates, which is unfortunate. But it shouldn't have too much of an issue right now. We're gonna have to do something about all these bodies. Kai is permanently unhappy when walking past them. A lot of corpses, rotting corpses, even worse. When they're desiccated, it doesn't matter that much. When they're fresh, it doesn't matter that much either. I don't want to bury them because it takes up a lot of space on the map, etc. Besides, there are fallen enemies. They don't deserve a proper burial. Better to feed them to predatory animals. You know, that's how we roll. We could have them butchered for their meat and leather, but that would provide some heavy debuffs to our mood. And I don't want any of those right now. We're already playing with fire as it is. Can we not? No. Unfortunately, we're going to have to keep hauling stuff over there. Unless we put a dumping stockpile. Oh, we'll put one over here. We will make it a preferred without corpses. So we're going to haul chunks over there instead, which would be much better. That way we're still going to get rid of some of these ugly rocks that people don't want to look at. And we're not going to be dumping them at the bodies either. Unless Davo just decides that, hey, let's go walk near the bodies. That's going to be wonderful for our mood. I mean, I don't really blame him for not eating at a table, I suppose. He was quite far away from the base. But we're going to have to get a moisture pump up at some point. I'd rather have pemmican first, but nobody's researching as of right now. Marat is doing some mining, which is valuable, don't get me wrong. We need a lot of metal. And this is the best way to get it. Honestly, you're better at mining than you are at research anyway, so it's not that much of a waste. And I'm sure we'll be able to use this space at some point. For something. Like even just digging into mountains. They did remove, like, they did push back how easy it was to get certain bugs to show up. And I don't mean that in a program kind of way. It's just, you know, there can be bugs in these mountains. Fortunately, it doesn't happen as often. Like, they used to be able to spawn like right inside the mountain. It's been shoved back. I don't know the precise values yet. You'd have to open up the debug menu, etc. to look at that. And we're not going to be doing that. That would be cheesing the system. And I don't really like to cheese the system too much. And we're just going to be going in, hoping for the best. I really just... Wow. Well, the good news is... I'm still an idiot. The better news is... we can expand our freezer a bit. I guess. I mean, we might as well. I'm gonna have it looking nice and tidy. Cargo pods have arrived. Cobra skin. Because they're not dropping in metal and cobra skin at the same time. So, cobra skin. I guess we can make some tribal uniforms for that. Like tribal wear? Yeah, tribal wear. Not sure what we'd ever use it for, but the option is there. Clearly. We're fueling the generator again, that's fine. I want to cut these trees down, if we can. Just get us some more wood. We want to maybe put some traps up here at some point. And have like a kill corridor instead of a wooden wall with some field defenses outside. Even though I like the field defenses. And they have certainly done their duty. I just don't think it'd be the best of ideas. If I'm completely honest. I also want to haul this one rock. That would be great. Got some more wood. It's also very nice. I think at some point we'll build a stone wall over here. And then have like wooden traps. And then people want to get into our base. Just literally walk into a bunch of traps. That would be ideal. I don't think it's time for manual parties just yet. It's nice to see that they are slowly removing those rocks. I'm pretty sure they do actually give it... Yeah, they give a minus 11 or a minus 10 debuff. Together with the fact that this is all rubbish, etc. And there's a lot of like rock rubble lying around. That doesn't make the area any more beautiful to be in, unfortunately. How are you doing on research? Oh, you're nearly there. Just 100 more points, so you'll be researching at level 5. You know, slightly less worse, or less terrible. You would do better if you had sight and manipulation with research. It's a bit... I mean, I get it, I suppose. 35 points shy, that's annoying. I'm not gonna lie, that's a bit annoying. Well, there we go, extra room in the freezer. We'll deconstruct that one as well. We're gonna try and keep double walls in there, but... triple's a bit too much. Would be, you know, a waste of space at that point. You're relaxing socially. Yeah, beauty is going down pretty quickly. Unfortunately. I mean, who'd have thought, right? Now what we could go ahead and do is set someone to priority 1 for cleaning, so that we get rid of all this rock rubble. But I mean, we're already hauling this stuff, and they all have their jobs and things to do. Finally, research level 5. We can see that it went up to 68%, sweet. That's not bad. Research bench factor. It's outside, that doesn't help. It's dirty, that doesn't help. Sorry about that, guys. Someone rang the doorbell, so I had to quickly pause the recording, etc. Hopefully I'll be able to cut it out in time. Now our people are going to get a little bit unhappy by walking over those corpses all the time. We do have our butcher table over here now, which is nice. We'll add a bill, butcher, do forever. Add bill, fine meal. Nobody has the quality for that. We'll do until 10 though. We could cook some simple meals. As it is, I'm going to deconstruct this stuff. Your research speed is only 40%, I think. Because it did mention having a penalty for outside. We'll put a wooden... We'll build a room around it, basically. And that should hopefully give Marat increased research speed. And you are level 5, which does help. Deconstructing fuel stove. That should get us some wood. Not that we need any wood, but... yeah, getting this done would be nice. Extra research and everything. I want to prioritize you to build stuff now. That'd be great. Just do it, please. Add a roof zone. Build roof, come on. There we go, now this is indoors. Your research speed is 57%. That might not seem like much, but it might make it a good difference in the long run. There we go, words. Unfortunately, because of the aforementioned doorbell ringing, I have lost track of time for how long this episode is going to be. So it might be a bit longer, it might be a bit shorter, I don't know. There's only one way to find out. There we go, we'll mine some more metal. So that we can build a stronger base. We might build some defense turrets inside, actually. We've finally researched pemmican, thank God. We're going to start researching stone cutting now, so that we can make some stronger walls. We need a high-tech research bench, and then we can start researching a moisture pump, which will allow us to basically turn this marsh into soil, which would be very beneficial to us, as you can well imagine. Because on soil we can actually grow stuff and build things, instead of, you know, not. Kinda lost track of thought there. Oh well, that's how these things go. Angie, how's your shooting doing actually? You're a shooting of 9. That's nice. I might get you to hunt some stuff and train that up even higher. For example, we could hunt a wild boar. Now can we set it so that only Angie does hunting? That'd be great. We are hauling a bunch of berries, which is nice. They'll be able to stay cool and frozen basically forever. Angie's having a bad mood. Hungry. Feeling bad. So eat with a table. There you go. That's gonna make you feel better. Poor mood should go away pretty soon. Feeling very comfortable. Because of your normal bed, which is nice. And good tables, also, good tables and chairs also helps. How's your construction doing? Only 9. Dafo has gotten sick from gut worms. The infection is in his stomach. Ensure you have a medical bed and a doctor. Make sure he gets proper treatment and spends as much time in bed as possible. You don't need to spend time in bed for gut worms. However, what they will do is make you more hungry. So Dafo is going to eat a lot more. So it's going to be... We're having 5 people instead of 4. Without the positive benefits. Instead, he's going to be sleeping in bed a lot. Thankfully, he's a masochist, so it's going to make him happier for a while because he's in a moderate amount of pain. He's weird like that. But we're going to have to get a secondary doctor now. Which is very annoying. You know. Raz, can you quickly treat him? Don't give him any medicine or anything, that doesn't matter. At least not for gut worms. They won't ever kill you, it's just... Yeah, you need a bunch of treatments to get rid of it. Which is annoying. As you can probably imagine. There we go, we're gonna hunt that wild boar so hard. $7,850, not bad. Kinda wish you'd butcher it, but it happens. We're not gonna attack the fox. We might attack the raccoon though. We're gonna go hunting and butchering and everything, and it'll be great. In fact, there's a wild boar over here that's missing some body parts. Why don't we go and do something about that? Where'd Engie go? Oh no, Engie's there, hunting. As always. Shooting is going up quite nicely. We need to be prepared for any possible attackers. And of course we are soldiers, so training our shooting is what we're supposed to be doing, you know? It makes sense, RP-wise. And we'll sort of try and, not necessarily min-max this, but play it like soldiers. We leave our enemies to rot, we take all their stuff, etc. You know, it's thematic. Might not make them feel happy, but it's thematic. Research is going well. We might expand this room at some point, and then we'll build a high-tech research bench. Maybe over here, you know, just keep the existing bench, allow someone to do some research there, but not rely on it or anything. We're getting some butchery done as well. I think that's, yeah, Dafo's just butchering some stuff. And now he's cleaning, so that room is going to be a lot prettier to sit in. Which means people won't get quite as unhappy walking around in here. Unfortunately, it is dark. And there are things we can do for that. For example, we can put a torch lamp down. This is basically like tribal level of lighting. It only takes a bit of wood, and we live in a boreal forest. We shouldn't have any wood problems whatsoever. And that'll also give a small amount of warmth. So, for example, when it becomes like -5 outside, as it is right now, and the cooler might not be enough to keep us all warm at some point, that'll suffice. It'll make sure. Like, for example, that room is 8 degrees right now. We could warm that up a little bit. First, we're gonna mine these walls out. We're gonna start making some proper things there at some point. I might place a hospital over here, because I like to have my hospital close to the base entrance, but not in range of like insects or anything like that, because that would be a disaster. You generally don't want your most vulnerable people to be attacked by insects. The manic alligators have arrived nearby. They will plan an attack. They all have personal shields, but they shouldn't be too hard to deal with. Especially if we try and ambush them over here. If they are dumb enough to walk through the marsh, they'll be dead. No problem. Unfortunately, I'm not quite sure what... Dafo's gonna clean dirt over here. I don't want any home areas over here. I'm gonna clean out most of these home areas. Basically, home areas let people decide, like, hey, I'm gonna clean this place because it's our home. Or we're gonna fight fires here because it's dangerous to have fires close to our home. don't really care too much about these places. So there we go. You don't have to clean any of that. You don't have to clean any of this. What we will have to do, however, is get our people out there right now. I don't think they're going to be walking over the marsh. But they are pure melee, so... yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull my guys back here. We'll have you over there. Now, they do have personal shields, but with the amount of firepower we can bring down on them, that shouldn't matter. They're going to be chasing Defo, so if he was just smart enough to start walking when I told him to, he'd be totally fine. As it stands right now, he's injured on the ground. Thankfully, all the raiders are dead. But Defo might have suffered permanent injuries. He lost his right arm! You idiot! You absolute idiot! Enjoy that one for a while. We're not going to be able to get you a replacement arm. Anyway guys, I think we've gone on long enough. I'm going to end the episode here. If you enjoyed the video, then please do leave a like down below. It really does help the channel out a lot. Leave a comment if you have anything to say, and until next time, have a good one, folks.